A Place Called Lonely, Episode 3, The Old Lie.
Who's ready to see some fucking blood? The Crucible is the greatest tournament in the Wasteland, and only the most exceptional warriors will have the privilege of dying before you tonight. Carnage is in the air, my children. The drums of battle are thundering. Since Cain first shattered Abel's skull, war has been in our blood. And tonight, we'll give you all a crucible worthy of legend. Enjoy the festival. Indulge in your most depraved desires. Kill, fuck, and shoot at all the shark that your twisted hearts can handle without bursting. But make sure you survive long enough to see tonight's performance. From Bloody Cage to Raphael the Reaper and Lola the Gorgon, we have the most sublime roster of gladiators all ready to die for your amusement. The most powerful bandit clans in the British wasteland have sent their best and most mercy-fucking-less. We have champions from the Apostles, the Deathmongers, the Vogonot family, the Howling Stars, the Hooligans, the Queen's Hounds, the Blood Heralds, the Spectres, and, of course, my very own rabble of resolute raiders, the Masque. This is shaping up to be the most bloody fucking fantastic crucible that the Wasteland has ever seen. Go forth and indulge, my children. I've been December Elwyn. This is the Crucible, and I do hope you'll join me for the bloodshed.
Though a shadow's hanging over us, is nothing that can leave a mark. 'Cause just above our heads the octopus will keep us hidden from the sharks.
Not bad, kid. You've got a nice voice.
Thanks. Would have been a singer in a better life. Was for a while before the mask grabbed me.
At least you still get to be a performer.
I think I would have preferred it if I wasn't probably going to get my head cut off at my next performance.
Now you're just being picky.
I shouldn't be here. I'm not some gladiator. I'm a shaman of the Mother Moon. I'm not like you two.
What happened? Did your wacky cult leader think she could convert the biggest bitch in the whole wasteland?
I only came to spread the word of Nera. Now I find myself chained beneath the dirt with you savages.
That's rich, coming from one of you lunatics.
Don't be cruel, Karina. He's scared. Remember how you felt the first time December made you fight for her amusement?
You're right. Sorry, mate.
running through the woods we've seen before, away from ghosts with butcher's knives.
What song is that? You're always murmuring it. I think I've even heard you singing it in your sleep before.
You know, it's been in my head every day for the past 3 years, but I couldn't tell you the name.
Where'd you hear it?
It's a long story.
To be fair, I don't think any of us are going anywhere anytime soon.
Fair point, Mr. Shaman, fair point. Before I got captured by the Masque, I was a squire for the Pale Communion.
Heretic!
Calm down, buddy. Let the boy talk.
I know the Order aren't exactly popular in the wasteland, but it's the life I was born into. My town was captured by the Pale Communion a long time ago, and all I'd ever known was servitude.
Servitude to vile, sadistic imperialists!
Are you gonna let me tell the story? Anyway, my knight and I, Sir Melton, were part of a battalion sent to try and subdue a little settlement controlled by this bandit clan, the Montrose Sisters. You might have heard of them.
I confess that I haven't.
Blimey, life under the Mother Moon must be pretty fucking insular. The Montrose Sisters are a particularly nasty bunch of clones. They call themselves sisters, but they're actually all exact genetic copies of the same very angry lady. They're the product of some pre-war experiment that haven't had the good grace to die.
That's the gist of it. We thought we could take them on with our little battalion of merry soldiers, but we were dead wrong. They cornered us beneath an old train station and blew the tunnel at either end. Sir Melton, and pretty much everyone else, got crushed beneath the rubble. Only me and one other squire, this girl called Dawson, survived the explosion. We were trapped beneath wreckage and debris, barely had enough room to move our arms. We got buried underneath God knows how much fallen stone. My leg got smashed up by a great big fuck-off chunk of rock. There was so much dust in the air, it felt like we were choking. It was like being entombed in a horrifically cramped stone coffin.
That sounds unpleasant.
That's putting it mildly. I was so certain we were going to die. Every cell in my body was screaming in pain. I couldn't stop panicking. I'm pretty sure I was praying for death. But Dawson, somehow Squire Dawson kept a level head. Her knight was just as dead as mine, and she was just as buried, but she kept calm. She pulled through, and she helped me slow my breathing a bit. It felt like we were under there forever. We just talked and talked and talked, about nothing and about everything. I told her things I've never even told my closest friends.
I am somewhat offended.
She told me about her dad, who raised her all by himself. He was a knight. A fucking good one by the sound of it. One day he went out for a skirmish against some apostles and never came back. But he had this collection of records from before the war, stored on one of those little music players. Some evenings after they'd eaten, they'd sit by the fire and listen to her dad's library of old tunes. When we were buried together in that claustrophobic hellhole, Dawson sang some of them for me. We were down there so long, we must have gotten through the entire collection. There were sad songs, happy songs, funny songs, bittersweet songs, a whole load of everything. But the one that really stuck with me was that one about a shore of amethyst and an octopus shielding the narrator from a prowling shark. I don't know why it jumped out at me, it just felt fitting. Dawson died a couple of days in. Her body just gave out, I guess. I held her hand as she passed on. A couple of hours later, a search party from the Communion dug me out. I was the only survivor. After my leg had been fixed up, I left the Order of the Pale Communion. I ran away in the night. My knight was dead, and life in the Order felt so colourless after Dawson. I spent a few years travelling from town to town, performing in bars. Mostly sang my own stuff, but every now and then I'd play something in Dawson's memory. Eventually the Masque caught me and put me to work as a gladiator. I liked being a singer, though.
Fuck.
I'm sorry that you had to endure that, my child. Life can be cruel.
Life isn't cruel. Life isn't kind either. Life just is.
Your friend, this Dawson, she is at peace now. She's free from the terrors of this world.
Do you really believe that? You really buy into all that spiritual, mystical stuff? You think there's an other side?
I'm wise enough to know that to presume knowledge of everything would be very foolish of me. None of us know if there is an other side, as you put it, but I do know that to assume death is a guaranteed misery would be awfully arrogant and pompous. Death might be some monstrous cruelty and an end to all things, but it also might not.
Huh, I quite like that.
Yeah, that makes me feel a bit better.
I imagine this December woman will have us all fighting for our lives quite soon. So perhaps we'll find out for sure.
It's cruel of the bitch to throw you in with us, Father. You don't strike me as a fighter.
I never have been, my child. Before I served the Mother Moon, I was a courier. The closest I ever came to a fight was the time my employer entrusted me with delivering a parcel to the Howling Stars.
Oof, they are not a pleasant bunch.
How'd that go?
My employer, a woman called Marwitz, ordered me into her office one morning. She said that she had an exceptionally important delivery which needed to be carried out with the utmost discretion, and that I was the only member of her staff that she trusted enough to assign the job to. In front of her, on her desk, was a large bound-up parcel.
Right.
She told me that I needed to head out of Guildford, slip the package past the Free State's guards, take a car out to the ruins of Brockham, and meet a group of Howling Stars in Betchworth Castle. Then she got up and left the room.
What happened after that?
Well, I picked up the parcel, left her office, and set off on my way. Getting the parcel past the GFS's guards wasn't too difficult. I had a friend in the Free State militia who helped me slip through without checking what I was carrying. From there, I paid a taxi to take me up to Brockham. Even now, the place is pretty much just a burnt-out crater. The shattered ruins of shops and houses sprinkled over a blackened sheet of countryside. I made my way to Betchworth Castle and found this group of massive, scary-looking thugs, all in body armor and armed to the teeth. There are few times in my existence when I feared more for my life than I did then.
Did they jump you?
They did not, my child. I made my way towards them, shaking and sweating, and I handed them the parcel.
What was it?
Well, what I hadn't realized is that when Marwitz had left her office, she was in fact going to get the item that I was supposed to be delivering to the bandits. I had foolishly assumed that the parcel on her desk was the package I was meant to be carrying, and had just handed the wrong item over to a group of very big, very angry thugs. They unwrapped the package in front of me and were thoroughly unimpressed. Within seconds, I was staring down the barrel of several guns. They had been expecting a box of grenades, and that was most certainly not what I'd delivered to them.
So what had you handed over to a group of some of the most vile, monstrous raiders in all of the British wasteland?
A 12-inch silicon dildo.
You're shitting me.
I'm afraid not, my child. The Howling Stars did not take kindly to the mix-up. That was a real pickle to talk my way out of.
I'm amazed that they didn't just shoot you.
As am I, my child. As am I. All of the wonders which I have seen Nera perform withstanding, that truly was a miracle.
I don't suppose you ever knew a Sister Penny Swales, did you, Brother Earnshaw?
Only in passing.
She was one of the acolytes at the cathedral, but I didn't know her intimately. Why do you ask?
Oh, it's silly, really. I lost my little sister, Izzy, a few years ago. My older brother really went off the rails. He was so intent on catching the person responsible for Izzy's death that he let it consume his life. I couldn't stand being around him towards the end. We were both hurt, but in the end I had to leave him to his downward spiral.
I'm sorry, my child.
After I left, I spent a few months at one of Nira's refuges in Oak Hill. As much as I thought all of that spiritual crap was culty brainwashing, Sister Swales really helped me overcome my demons. I was in a dark fucking place, and she was kind to me.
Yeah, I bet that's not all she was to you.
Don't hate me because you've pretty much regrown your virginity at this point.
Karina, Earnshaw, you're up next. Give him a good show and you might just make it out of this one alive.
Good luck, brother.
And to you, sister. May the Mother Moon watch over us both.
I'm not saying goodbye to either of you, so you damn well both better make it back alive.
Hurry your asses up, you saps.
Just beyond the shore of Amethyst lies a place I built for us. Beneath the waves amid the jellyfish, we can live without a fuss. And the shadows hanging over something that can leave
It's been 2 days since we've had any word out of Woking, and Mayor Blythe seems to be unreachable. No merchants or travellers have been seen leaving the city. I'm going to assume the worst, and conclude that the massive herd of untamed we reported on have overrun Woking. For those just joining us, stay away from Woking. Woking has fallen, and you do not want to cross paths with the untamed. These are crazed, feral monsters that have had all their humanity stripped away. Their only impulses, which still flicker in their brains, are the very worst cravings a person has. If you think regular bandits can be cruel, then you've got no idea how utterly perverse the untamed are.
That wasn't much of a fair fight. That pussy never stood a fucking chance.
The crowd got a good kick out of it. That's all that matters. Hello, Dee.
Leave us!
You've got a really lovely little place here. So much hunger and bloodlust brimming in the air. I can taste it.
I'm glad you approve. You can take off your person suit now.
Ever so kind of you, Dee. You've no idea what it's like to hide yourself from the world. It sounds like my children are performing quite exquisitely.
Yeah, I heard that stupid tart prattling on the radio. The cow has no sense of showmanship. I suppose the Guildford Free State is next on your list.
Your pathetic planet is next on my list, human. With every conquest, my army grows and swells. Soon my children will swallow the earth, and I will drink humanity's bitter tears as the sun sets on mankind for the final time.
You're welcome to the rest of them. I never particularly cared for my brethren. Just so long as you honour our agreement.
Of course, my dear, sweet Dee. What do you take me for? Some kind of monster?
Of course not.
Give me what was promised, and then you and your precious little Masque will be sheltered from oblivion. I swear this to you.
All right then. Let's talk about the Orpheus space colony.